We will now switch tact and have a look at how all this works where we want to use a work area instead of a header line. The fundamental difference is that when we are selecting records from the table, we are using the separate work area instead of using the internal table's own header line. Let's go straight to look at some code. So what I'm going to do is define a brand new internal table. In fact, let me clear out this stuff, because further down in the program we got the stuff we declared before. So first of all, as a refresher, we have the line type, and that's made up of two fields, surname and date of birth. Then, let's put a space in here. Then we declare the data type, which is made up of the line type, followed by declaring the internal table itself. Let's get rid of this one. So this is the declaration of the internal table. Then finally, we declare the work area. So with those statements in place, let's move on and have a look at the select statement we would use. It's very similar to how we define the select statement for working with an internal table with a header line, in that we start with the select statement, and then what I'm going to do here is specify individual fields. So I'm going to say surname and date of birth. Then we use from to say where we're going to select it from, and we're going to specify the employees table. And I'll just break the statement onto a brand new line. Then we're going to use into, and this is where we specify the work area. So because our work area is WA itab02, that's what I'm going to input. Now I'm going to add an append statement, and this is where I'm going to do WA Let's check the code. Always good. So now let's explain it fully. So we have our normal select statement. We specify it is going into our work area. Then we have our append statement, and we're going to say append the record from the work area to our internal table. Then this section of code is ended with the end select to complete the loop. So let's debug the code and you can see it in action. Oops, not active. Okay. So here we go. There's our work area. There's our internal table. And I'll step through line by line. Work area is filled, and then we append it to the internal table. And then the loop continues. I'll zoom through. Fairly simple stuff. In some of our previous examples, we looked at using an array fetch, which in essence skipped the header record. Well, the same thing applies here. Even though we are using an internal table without a header record, we can still take a look at the same type of code. And see how it works with this type of table. So let's comment out this. And let's now just code a simple array fetch. So we would have the select statement. Let's choose all fields. So we select star from Z employees into corresponding fields of our table, which is itab02. We don't need the append or the end select. So as you can see, an array fetch works exactly the same as before, and we can test it out. Well, if I stick a breakpoint in, it's going to zoom straight through, but we can see that the internal table is empty at the moment. As soon as I press F5, the program's going to end. But on the F5 press, the internal table will be filled with data. I guess what we need to show that is then just create a bit of code. We will come to loops later on, so don't worry about that. Okay, let's test it again. Have a look at iTab02, press F5, and you can see we've got 5 records inserted into the table all in one go. So I'll just zoom through the rest of the program. We don't really need to look at this output. And get rid of the breakpoints.